Hello friends, welcome to Technique. This is Nirmal here, and here is the camera comparison of two flagship smartphones, the iQOO 3 with the OnePlus 70. Both the devices have good camera setup with ultra-wide angle lens, telephoto lens and also a dedicated macro mode along with the primary camera. So let's see how they stack against each other. In terms of the camera hardware, the iQOO 3 comes with a 48 megapixel primary camera with f1.8 aperture with Sony's IMX582 sensor, a secondary 13 megapixel ultra wide angle camera, a third 13 megapixel telephoto lens and 2 megapixel depth sensor. There is also EIS on offer. On the front camera, it has a 16 megapixel selfie shooter. Talking about the OnePlus 70, it comes with a 48 megapixel f1.6 primary camera with Sony IMX586 sensor, a secondary 16 megapixel ultra wide angle camera and a third 12 megapixel telephoto lens. On the front panel, it has a 16 megapixel f2.0 selfie camera along with screen flash. So now let's have a look at the camera samples. First up, let's see the video recording. Here both the smartphones can record videos in 1080p resolution as well as 4K at 60 fps is supported. Both the devices also offer stabilization along with super steady mode in 1080p resolution. Here the video quality looks better on OnePlus 70 along with stabilization. The iQOO 3 isn't bad, but there is no stabilization for 4K. But one thing which is good on the iQOO 3 is the dynamic range, which looked better than the OnePlus 70. Also, while panning the video, the OnePlus 70 video was smooth. So in terms of video quality, we would pick the OnePlus 70. Next up, the daylight captures. Looking at the captures, you can see both offer similar performance and details and sharpness levels are pretty good. The only difference is in the color reproduction. The OnePlus 70 was slightly natural looking, especially the skies, while the iQOO 3 was a bit saturated. Both the phones offer great details, but here again iQOO 3 offered better dynamic range and it resolves shadows better. But overall, in daylight shots, our pick would be the OnePlus 70. Now both the devices have ultra wide angle camera and the images are good on both the devices. When we reviewed iQOO 3, we did mention about the good ultra wide angle camera and even the OnePlus 70 was good overall in ultra wide shots. So here we would say it is a tie. Moving to the close-up shots, both the devices have good details with iQOO 3 having slightly brighter images. But colors are better on the OnePlus 70 with iQOO being a bit saturated. iQOO 3 did have an edge in terms of the sharpness levels. Both the phones have macro mode. Here again iQOO 3 had sharper images but misses out on color reproduction, which OnePlus does better. Next, the portrait shots. Here both the devices performed equally well and it is tough choice to see which is better. The skin tones are better and natural on the OnePlus 70, but iQOO 3 has good sharp portraits. The edge detection is also quite similar on both the phones. Both the devices have telephoto lens with 2x optical zoom and both does a good job with sharp images. The colors looked slightly natural on the OnePlus 70. Now next, let's move on to the low light photos. Here in regular photos, the low light performance was better on the OnePlus 70. When we reviewed the iQOO 3, we did mention about the low light performance, which is one of the weaknesses of the iQOO 3. This is quite evident when you zoom in. iQOO 3 has more noise than OnePlus 70 images. Even in night mode, OnePlus 70 did better. So overall in terms of low light conditions, OnePlus 70 is the winner here. Finally, the selfie experience. Both the devices have 16 megapixel shooter. In terms of selfie experience, we like the OnePlus 70 because it has better skin tones and looked more natural. Since selfies are more of a personal choice, we would leave it to your viewers to decide which looks better. Both the phones have portrait selfies and here the edge detection looks quite similar on both the devices. So this is the front facing camera sample taken with the iQOO 3. So this is the 1080p footage. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the iQOO 3's front facing selfie camera. So this is the 1080p sample taken using the front camera on the OnePlus 70. So you can judge yourself how good the clarity of the video is and also the audio output from the front camera on the OnePlus 70. So summing up, which has a better camera? While iQOO 3 has good camera hardware, there are few areas which needs improvement, especially the color reproduction and also the low light captures, which aren't good as a flagship smartphone. OnePlus 70 on the other hand isn't a stellar performer in terms of the camera, but it's still better in terms of the performance comparing it with the iQOO 3. So our pick in terms of the camera would be the OnePlus 70. So which one do you think is better? Share in your thoughts in the comment section. This is Nirmal signing off with a camera comparison of the iQOO 3 and the OnePlus 70. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.